What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I do want to take a look at the Ferrari 488 GT3 after the handling update. I really do feel like a lot of these touring cars now are going to be a lot more fun to use, and I've basically been finding myself running so many different cars that I've never ran before. And what's kind of hilarious, guys, a lot of these cars I'm actually using, I have never used once in the past. I actually had no mileage on some of these, so it's definitely going to be pretty awesome to actually take another look at some of these cars, and the GT3 is definitely going to be no exception. The 488 GT3 is obviously going to be a race car. I wonder what actually gave that away. Maybe it's going to be the stripped down interior and or the slicks, plus a crazy looking body kit on this car as well. I do know Ferrari's actually insanely strict on what you can do to their vehicles, which I can definitely understand to a certain extent, but then we also have Whistling Diesel also off-roading his Ferrari. Honestly, I would probably do the exact same thing. I would even probably lift mine up and make it an off-road rally raid type of Ferrari, but I probably shouldn't give anybody any ideas. But anyway, guys, overall the 488 is actually going to be pretty dang good now. The top speed on this car is going to be around 251 miles per hour, which is probably going to put it right intact with many of the other cars in this category as well. Unless we actually look at some of the motorcycles, which are all going to be slower than every single car. I still do not understand why the bikes are not in their own category, but if you guys are looking for a different car like the 488 to use, I would definitely say this car is going to be a nice choice. I do remember a while back in Season 7 we had that one summit where we did have to use the 488 in that one event. I actually had a great time running this car, and I thought it was pretty dang good before. I even considered this car to be slightly underrated. Now that it actually was updated, guys, I think it's going to be even better than it was before as well. I do like the way this car does corner. You basically feel like you're sticking on the ground with like no issues at all, and the car doesn't slide anywhere either at all when you guys are using nitrous around a corner. I really do feel like that's going to greatly increase the speed overall on this vehicle. One thing I actually found pretty interesting about the GT3 here is the fact that yes, every single touring car, at least most of them anyway, actually did get the handling update. For some odd reason though, guys, I still would say cars are going to be better than others. Even though every single car in this class actually did get a handling update, I'm still finding some of these cars not to be as good as some of the other ones, which I do find to be pretty interesting because even though a lot of these cars might seem to be better, I still feel like a lot of players are most likely not going to pick them. Now, one thing I did notice about the GT3 though, guys, that I did mention before, I actually find the handling on this car to be slightly better than some of the other ones I have tested so far. Now, I'm not saying a lot of these cars are going to fall into a pit and most likely be forgotten, but I really do feel like that's most likely going to happen though. Even though a lot of these cars are going to be insanely good, I just feel like a lot of players won't end up choosing them, which I honestly can't blame you though, because we have cars like the Lamborghini Gallardo Super Trofeo and or something like the Renault RS01 that have been basically owning this class for a long time. Even after this update, guys, with all these cars being greatly improved, I would still say a lot of players are most likely going to pick those two cars still. Like, they're really going to be that good, so it's going to be hard to pick other ones. One thing I am happy about though, guys, if you do want to try out different cars like the GT3 here, and sure, the GT3 is probably not going to be like the fastest touring car and or like the new best one in the game, but to be honest, guys, I would say this car can easily compete in summits and probably go for platinum, and you will most likely be able to score pretty dang close to those other cars that are normally on top. I do want to know what you guys think about the 488 GT3 in the comments below, and stay tuned for these other touring cars in the near future.